Okay, hello, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good. Go ahead and pick up your case. We've already opened them up here. We're going to do our first flute lesson today. I love the flute because it doesn't have reeds like all the other woodwind instruments, and reeds are hard. But the flute comes with its own unique challenges. So go ahead and take this piece out right here. There should be 3 pieces in there. This is called the head joint. It's the top piece and actually the most important piece on it. You can put the rest of the case down. We're only going to need the head joint for a minute here. And the head joint is where you actually produce the sound from. This is, I guess, sneeze. Bless you. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So this is the head joint. It's what you actually produce the sound out of. And this little round, oval-like piece right here is called the lip plate. It's where you're actually going to be placing your lips to produce the sound. But before we get started with trying to make a sound on it, let's do a little bit of breathing first. Breathing is really important on flute because you run out of air really fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in all the way and really fill up your chest and your abdomen as well, all the way down real deep, all the way in for 4 counts, and we're going to make a shh sound out, and we're going to try to do that for 4 counts as well. Then we're going to do it again, in for 4, out for 8 this time. And the goal is to be completely out of air by the time you're done making that shh sound. Make sense? Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. We'll go ahead and, what am I saying? 1, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. Okay, close. We're going to do the shh sound on the way out, though. Okay? So we're going to shh. Hi. Okay, ready? 1, 2, ready, go. In, 2, 3, 4. Shh. 2, 3, 4. Off. Do you still have air left?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do it again. This time, try to get a little bit more air through there so you can run out of air after 4 counts. I'll take the counts a little slower this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Shh. How's that? A little better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So moving on, because we don't have a whole lot of time, so I want to make sure we get through everything. We're going to try to produce a sound on this before we even try to put the rest of the flute together, because it only gets harder once you put that on there. So what I want you to do is take your head joint, and you'll notice there's like a little ball kind of screw thing that's on the end here. You want that to face to the left. You don't ever want it facing to the right. You want it to the left. And if you notice when you look at the lip plate, that part's thicker. There's a thicker part and a thinner part. You want that thick part to be facing you. Cool? Now cover up the end. And then what you're going to want to do is this fat part of the lip joint here is actually going to rest on your chin, kind of on your chin bump here. Cool. And you should be able to feel the whole of the lip joint. Yeah. See, can you kind of feel it on your lip a little bit there? Good. And you can take that down for right now. What I want you to do is tighten up the sides of your lips, kind of like we do on saxophone and clarinet. Make a little bit of a frown. And go. Yeah. Do it one more time for me. Cool. That's generally how it's going to feel to blow over top of the lip plate here. So go ahead and cover that up again. Get it placed on there. I'm just going to check, make sure you're looking pretty good. And you can actually relax your bottom lip. Your bottom lip doesn't need to be super tight. You gotta sneeze again. Okay. Bless you. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
You can put it back up to your face. I like to kind of put the hole directly on the center of my lips and then roll it down That way it stays nice and flat, so you're not like this or angled weird or anything like that. And once you've got it on there, go ahead and keep the space in between your lips nice and small. You're going to be blowing really direct air over top of the hole. That's pretty good. It's hard, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So you go ahead and do it again. I'm going to watch and see how I can help you. Yeah, that was really good. You kind of loosened up your lip a little bit there. You had it rolled in like this, kind of like you do on clarinet and saxophone, but you don't need to do that here. You can just leave your bottom lip pretty relaxed. Good. That's good. It's really difficult at first, but you're doing really great. So now we're going to do the same thing, but this time you're going to take your hand off as you're doing it. Yeah, make sure you get a good grip on it with your left hand so you don't drop it. Yeah, it's harder once you open up that space. Okay, you're really close. So try making, so the hole in your lips that's actually blowing the air out, we call that the aperture. Try and make that a little bit smaller, but keep the same airspeed and all that. Try one more time. Yeah, that was really good. Cool, so I won't make you do that 100 times. So go ahead and take the rest of the flute, bring it on up. You can set it on your lap. And one more thing, when we're playing, we want to make sure we have great posture. So you want your legs uncrossed, sit down nice and straight. Great. So the next thing to do is to take out the body of the flute. That's the part with all the fancy keys on it. Cool. Looks good. And you'll notice one side has a little extra ring sort of thing on the end of here. And that's going to go on the end of your head joint, which has this kind of brassy looking part right here, and that's what's going to go in the top of here. Yep. And then you actually don't want to push it all the way down in like that. You want about a 1/2 inch of that brassy looking part out there, and that's just for tuning purposes. Once you've got it on there, you want to see, so you see these keys right here, these little buttons. You want to line the hole up with those buttons. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's kind of approximate. Great. That looks good. So that's the first step. The second step is to take the foot joint. This is a B foot joint. It allows you to play all the way down to a low B. And you're going to attach that right on the end. These fancy looking pedals here, these are keys that control these guys over here. You want those going towards the rest of the flute. You'll notice it won't go on if you try to do it this way, but it'll go on the other way. Go ahead and slide that on there, and that one you will push all the way in. Mine's a little sticky. Great. Put it all the way on there. Awesome. And then lining this one up, if you see this little kind of bar here, it rolls around a little bit. You want that to line up with this bar here. So the key buttons aren't all the way lined up with everything. And that's so that when you have your pinky on there, you can reach it better. Great. Now here comes the harder part. It's getting everything else set up. You can put that down. So I want you to take your left hand and just hold it out just normal like that. Nothing weird. Now, you see these little guys right here? These are your B keys. Yeah, that might be helpful. Now you're going to set that right on top of your pointer finger, right above your knuckle. Not down in here like this, but right above your knuckle. This is important for balance. It's going to feel weird, but that's where it's supposed to go. Now take your first finger, still supporting with this hand. You're going to put it on this one. So not this one back here. Skip down one. Go to here. Your second finger is going to. Oh wait, hold on a second. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Then your second finger is going to skip this one and go down to this one. And then your third finger, yep, just right there, perfect. And then your thumb stays in the exact same place. It stays right here. Okay, take a look at your hand there. Great, that looks awesome. Try and remember that hand position while I teach you how to use the left or the right hand. Sorry. So the right hand, we'll start with the pinky. Your pinky's going to go on this button right here. He's right there. There you go. You want to make sure you're not rolling him over here because these will control other keys. So keep that guy right there. Then you put your third finger down on this one, second on this one, first on that one. And that's your basic left hand fingers. And your thumb just sits right underneath. So these are all of your different points of balance in your hands. And then when you put the flute up to your mouth, you put that head joint up just the same way you've done it before. You want to make sure you keep standing up nice and straight. You want the flute to be parallel with the ground, so you don't want to be leaning over like this or sticking it way up in the air like that. You just want it nice and even. How's that feel?
Good.
Good? Okay, great. So go ahead and just hold on to it and see if you can get a sound out of it just like you did on the head joint. It gets a lot harder once you put the rest of the flute on there, right? Mm-hmm. You're close. There you go. There's something. Yeah. It's great. It's really hard, so don't feel bad about it. It's difficult. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're really, really close. It looks pretty good so far. Just try and make sure that you have a very small aperture. Remember, the aperture is the hole in your lips. And you want to think about the air actually going out and down a little bit, almost diagonally. And if you look at, there you go. And kind of a fun little trick too, on like when you have a mirror, if you have a mirror at home, you can use this. Watch whenever I play, you'll see like a little triangle of condensation form right here from the air I'm blowing over top of it. And it's hard, you can't really do it right now because we don't have a mirror, but at home, if you've just got a mirror in the bathroom or something, you can use it to help you. You see that little triangle there?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, great. So we just have one more thing to do here, and this is articulation. So this is how you make notes sound without just blowing into it out of nowhere. And that's like... So try just doing this with me. You don't have to put the flute up there quite yet, but just go toe, 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 toe. Doesn't have to be on a note or anything. Just toe, 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 toe.
Toe, 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 toe.
You feel how your tongue is kind of hitting up on your hard palate like that? That's exactly what it's going to feel like. You just reproduce that while you're playing, and that's how it works. So you try putting that up one more time. This time, once you've got the flute up in that position, Yep, there you go. That's right. Yep. Good. Good. That's right. You can go ahead and put it up. You don't have to play anything yet, though. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Now, what I want you to try this time is take all of your fingers off. You don't have to lift them way up in the air like this, and you want to still keep your pinky resting on that key because that's a main balance point for you. But all I want you to do is keep your first finger and your thumb down on your left hand. How does that feel? Does it feel kind of hard to hold it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can kind of squeeze it a little bit, but hold it. It should really be balancing on your first finger, and it's easier once you get it up here too, because you got your chin to balance on. How's that feel?
Okay.
A little better? Okay. It'll be a little easier to make a sound on this note. It's B flat, in case you were wondering. But we're going to try to make a sound one more time, and once you feel like you've got a sound or you're kind of getting the idea of a sound, try making that toe, using that toe sound to get an articulation. You're doing great. It's really, really hard. Yep, great. I know, it's really, really hard. Well, I'll tell you what, I think we're about out of time for today, but you did really good. Just take that home, do some practicing, and we'll come back and see what we can do with it next week as well. Great job.